Over the last few years, there has been a growing vocal concern that permeates all multiplayer shooter games, so as a result, Team Fortress 2 is currently undergoing that same phase. There's an idea going around that snipers are not only unfun as a concept, but function as direct contradictions to the practice of providing fun and objectively enjoyable experiences in video games. Within Team Fortress 2, the natural target of this sentiment has been the entire sniper class, with people suggesting rebalances ranging from a mild ammo count decrease to a damage decrease to a scoping time increase to outright removing him from the game entirely. There are many people who genuinely believe that snipers as a concept simply should not exist in first-person shooter games. They're sometimes argued as a reality of modern warfare that doesn't need to be represented in video games because it ruins the short-term enjoyment for players. This is quite a drastic position to take, as a major appeal of team-based shooters like TF2 is an appropriate representation of skill sets including, but not limited to, long-range precision. On top of that, it's hardly considered team-based combat if there aren't checks and balances that skill sets like long-range precision naturally provide to a game. With Team Fortress 2, even when stripped of all post-launch content, the game is rife with checks and balances to every mechanic, to allow individual and team-level play to synergize with each other and form overall fair experiences. Of course, all things must be balanced and measured within and relative to the game's own mechanics, environments, and even physics to determine just how fair, and possibly even fun, something like a sniper, for example, can be in a team-focused, objective-oriented, class-based first-person shooter video game. I want to examine that balance in as much detail as is necessary for this discussion to make any sort of sense. The goal of this video is to, by the end, determine just how balanced and fair the sniper class truly is, where the complaints are really coming from, and as a bonus, what necessarily constitutes balance in a multifaceted game like TF2 in the first place. This will be a very long-winded endeavor, and I must warn that there will most likely be essays within essays that I promise have a purpose in the pursuit of examining all claims as fairly and cleanly as possible. A heads up will be given at the appropriate time for these tangents, and of course, timestamps are provided in the description for navigating particular talking points you might find more interesting in the moment. And as fate would have it, the first of many essays within essays must begin now. See, the structure of this video is designed to discuss the arguments presented by people who, shall we say, don't care for Sniper's present balance in Team Fortress 2. After that, I want to discuss the various nerfs the community has proposed to rebalance Sniper, and after that, if need be, take some time to clean up and take care of straggler arguments made by particular people that, in spite of their potentially ludicrous nature, gained some level of popularity. This video will then conclude with an analysis of anti-sniper culture in general, as, yes, to your surprise as much as my own, this sentiment is far more popular across gaming as a whole than previously believed. I won't be able to cover every single argument and counter-argument that exists on the internet, of course, but I will be covering the most popular arguments irrespective of their coherency in an attempt to, shall we say, steelman the position, and see just how much scrutiny it holds up under. In order to begin properly, however, it is best to cover the history of the class, and, partially as a result, the franchise itself. Team Fortress 2 isn't the first game in its family. As far as official releases, it's the third overall, and the second under Valve's banner. Team Fortress as a whole has generally stuck to design principles that are, through ignorance or intention, completely lost on many modern-day players. From my standpoint, the best way to understand why you might not enjoy something in a video game is to ascertain its history, if it has any, and discern whether it had reasonable standing at any point in time, particularly at its inception. This way, if it is reasonable to conclude that Sniper's function in Team Fortress 2 is unbalanced, we can easily trace back to a point where balance did exist, where it was lost, and hopefully as a result of tracking it down, how to potentially get it back, notwithstanding the translation of many variables to accommodate for the inherently different experiences across all three games. So, without further ado, allow me to take you back to what is also, coincidentally, the very day Valve was founded, August 24th, 1996. The birthday of Team Fortress.